boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
She fought in January, and you asked the people involved, why is your world champion, who's boxer of the year last year, not had a fight all year, and we're in the month of November? That's a terrible way to treat somebody. Any champion, male or female. Tasha knows. I've asked her for the last 3 or 4 months just to retire now, finish with the sport. You don't need to be doing this no more. You've achieved everything you need to achieve. You've got a good job with Sky, and the way you're being treated and disrespected in the last 11 months is shocking, to be fair.
I think a lot of boxers are realising now, Eddie Hearn might not be perfect, but nobody is, let's keep it real. But Benn Shalom, more often than not, is not the alternative if you're looking to progress in your career. Like, Joe Gallager had no problem mentioning Matchroom and Eddie Hearn and the bias that boxing promoters show to London fighters, in his opinion. But Joe was talking about opportunities for NATASHA Jonas. But it's not just NATASHA Jonas. I believe it was Base the Kid. He put a list of fighters who have been inactive on Boxer, and it's an extensive list. Yeah? But you know, as incompetent as Benn Shalom is, and he is incompetent. But NATASHA has herself to blame as well. Last couple of years, she's been on 1 fight a year with Boxer and Sky. Even recently, she was complaining about Eddie Hearn this, Eddie Hearn that. And she's been gone from Matchroom from at least 2021. When she was on Matchroom, she drew with Terry Harper in a super featherweight title fight. Close fight, could have went either way. I thought NATASHA won it. She complained about that. But even up till recently, last year, Terry Harper called out NATASHA Jonas for a unification at light middle. And all NATASHA and Joe Gallager did was moan at Steffi Ball, Terry Harper's guy, moan about Matchroom and how everything's not fair, and the fight went away. And then this year she fought Michaela Mayor. She got a split decision that, in my opinion, she didn't deserve, and in lots of other people's opinion, she didn't deserve that. But you know, it's okay when it goes in Joe's and NATASHA's favour. But they would swear blind, both of them, that everyone is against them. Now it's Benn Shalom, but Joe won't mention his name. Why do you say Benn Shalom? All he keeps saying is the way they've been treated, it's a disgrace. Why don't you say his name? See, more than likely, if a Harper-Jonas fight went to purse bids, DAZN are probably going to get the upper hand. And if not, Matchroom would probably send Terry Harper over to Boxer and Sky to get the opportunity. But would Benn Shalom reciprocate in kind? Probably not. And there's a history on that. There's receipts on that. If they wanted a Terry Harper fight, they could have got it. They could have got the fight. How about Michaela Mayo, giving her a rematch? No, they're not going to do that. They're just going to complain how everything is against them.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
Robert W. Smith, Secretary of the British Boxing Board of Control, talking to Talk Sport. Let's go.
But Robert, is this now not becoming something of a witch hunt?
No, I don't think so, not at all. I mean, I've heard people say that. I mean, it's gone through due process. I mean, I must say I'm more frustrated than most people. It's taken too long, it's been too cumbersome.
He said it himself, it's gone through due process. It's been cleared by the WBC. The National Anti-Doping Panel have twice now said UKAD and the board have not proved a case against Conor for wrongdoing. Conor's done everything he can do.
You asked him to go and deal with the whole case. He did that. He's done that now. It's finished. It's all finished. Right? There's nothing more you can ask. He's done what you asked him to do.
Jim White from Talk Sport asked Robert W. Smith, are you considering an appeal to the board? Because UKAD said we're going to look at the circumstances, go talk to their legal people. So it looks like they're considering an appeal. Robert Smith, he didn't commit to yes or no. You're going to appeal with the same circumstances and same facts that you appealed with last time that got turned down by the National Anti-Doping Panel. So it is looking like a witch hunt. And at some stage, Conor Benn is going to apply for the license. New Year, he's going to apply for the license. 2 weeks to appeal. 2 weeks. In my opinion, I don't think they have a problem with Conor getting his license back. They have a problem with what the National Anti-Doping Panel are saying. That Conor is not guilty of deliberately taking performance-enhancing substances. That's what they have a problem with. They have a problem with the National Anti-Doping Panel saying, you are in the wrong, not Conor. That's what they have a problem with. It's PR right now. You might not agree, but this is a 10-8 round for Conor. Their PR is looking shockingly bad right now because they haven't come out and said what they want to happen with Conor. Do you want the ban to go on longer? Do you want the National Anti-Doping Panel to frame his clearance in a different way. They want Conor to take the liability, to take the fall. Then they'll let him fight. They don't care if Conor fights or not. They just don't want it to be them taking liability, failing to prove that he's a dirty athlete. That's how Tyson Fury got back in the ring. Tyson and Hughie got back in the ring by saying, look, we'll take liability for the nandrolone. We'll accept the ban for the nandrolone. But we're just going to say we don't know how it got there, which is a total contradiction because, first of all, they was using the wild boar to say that's why they had trace levels of nandrolone in their system. But in the end, they just had to say we don't know how it got there, but we take liability for it being there.
We've had a statement issued on behalf of Tyson Fury, Hughie Fury and UKAD, and I'll just pick through the bones of it. It says that they have agreed to resolve proceedings brought by UKAD, and it goes on to say UKAD's position is that the anti-doping rule violations it had asserted have been committed. The consequences set out in the UK anti-doping rules should apply. Tyson Fury will receive a 2-year ban.
That's the retroactive ban, which made no sense at all. We won't get into that. I'm breaking it down simple so those who are not familiar with the two cases can understand. Conor said, no, I'm not guilty. That's what Conor said. I am not guilty. And he stuck by his convictions all the way through.
Look, he's never wavered. But he said, no, I didn't do this. And I'm going to prove myself. And that is exactly what he did.
Let's not be naive here, right? Let me break it down very simply. And I've followed both cases, Tyson Fury's, Hughie Fury's, and Conor Benn. They needed Hughie and Tyson to take liability for the nandrolone. They needed this because Tyson popped early 2015, actually managed to fight for a world title and won it against Klitschko late 2015. Somehow, the legal proceedings over the nandrolone that Hughie and Tyson took didn't start until 2016. They had several issues with Tyson not turning up to certain dates and Frank Warren assisting Tyson in delaying the case. Yeah? UKAD banned Tyson Fury. Guess who overturned the ban? The National Anti-Doping Panel. The same higher-up organisation who have slapped down the board and UKAD's ban on Conor Benn twice, as we've seen this week. So when they overturned Tyson's ban in 2016, that delayed the process of UKAD bringing a conclusion to the case. It went into 2017, and as it says here, if Tyson Fury is cleared, he's going to claim loss of earnings from UKAD, and they're going to go bankrupt. And not only that, even before it gets there, that Tyson takes into court, all the administration they have to go through to try and bring the case to a conclusion, it was costing a lot of money. It was costing a lot of money. And it's the same thing with this Conor Benn case. Yeah? If they cannot get the National Anti-Doping Panel to say, Conor, naughty boy, if they can't get that to happen, as it stands now, Conor is cleared. Well, what's next? He can claim loss of earnings. And that's a significant claim. Conor came out and said, I hold no ill will or grudges with the board or UKAD. I hope we can work together to ensure a clean sport, blah, blah. Yeah, that's really nice, Conor. But his lawyer might be saying,
they better have my money.
Now, once again, this is just my opinion. I think if the board leave it alone, if UKAD leave it alone, and they let Conor do what he's doing, they might not have to worry about the lawsuit. But the board and UKAD, they cannot guarantee that. They need to cover themselves as best they can and as quick as possible. So anyone who believes it's just the board are trying to get justice against a dirty athlete for the sake of all the clean athletes, that's naive. It's a bit of an immature take. That's how it should be. I agree. Now, Conor Benn, he doesn't want to disclose the details of the National Anti-Doping Panel's decision to clear him of wrongdoing. And from the bits that have came out from UKAD, they want it disclosed. They want it to be public information. Why does Conor not want that to be disclosed? I believe a lot of it is going to lead back down to this jurisdiction. The strength of Conor's case, maybe not all of it, but the strength of the case seemed determined on the fact that VADA popped Conor Benn dirty and not UKAD. That is jurisdiction. It could be jurisdiction. Let me say it could be. But there could be more to it than that. And the Daily Star are asking Conor Benn to disclose the details of the panel's decision if he wants to silence doubters. Now, that's a load of bull crap, And the Daily Star is full of bullcrap. It doesn't matter what Conor doesn't disclose or what he does disclose. The doubters are there already, right? I guess some of you believe the Daily Star really care about clean or dirty athletes. No, they want content for their site and for their newspaper. That's what they want. If you've made up your mind that Conor Benn is a cheat, reading the whole 57-page dossier or getting the details of the National Anti-Doping Panel's decision is not going to change your mind. And if you're a Conor Benn fan, it's not going to change your mind either way. It's as simple as that. The National Anti-Doping Panel, they cannot release details of their decision. Apparently only Conor Benn has authority to do that. Eddie Hearn has said Conor Benn has been cleared by the National Anti-Doping Panel and he hasn't been cleared on jurisdiction. And he was keen to point that out. But here's the thing. It's not Eddie Hearn's case. So if anybody quizzes him, well, why don't you prove it's not jurisdiction and release the details of the National Anti-Doping Panel's decision? Well, he can't. Only Conor Benn can do that. But if Eddie is going to say it's not jurisdiction, the only way to prove it is to release the details. But Conor probably won't agree to that. And you have to ask why. Now, I'm just putting the facts out, yeah? I'm just putting the facts out there. Now, some of you may understand it, but some may be new to this, and I've got to explain. The reason they don't want it to come out that Conor got off on jurisdiction is because all that would prove is that UKAD are not eligible to question or act on VADA testing because neither they or the board recognize it. If they can hide the details of jurisdiction through strict confidentiality, they might choose to do so. And make no mistake, UKAD and the board, they cannot mess with the type of money of whoever is bankrolling Benn through this case. They can't mess with that type of money. They couldn't mess with the type of money that was bankrolling Tyson Fury. Not so much Huey, but Tyson Fury. So they came to a resolution with the backdated ban. Now, let me explain this to you, yeah? The backdated ban went from December 2017 back to December 2015, just after Tyson Fury beat Vladimir Klitschko. Now, Fury got his British Boxing Board of Control license taken because he tested for cocaine. So he wouldn't have been able to box unless he applied for a license, which he didn't do. He put on a whole load of weight and was apparently going through mental health issues. So it's unlikely he was going to be in the ring anyway in the time period of the so-called retroactive ban. He didn't apply for a license until 2018, January. Check this out, right? The retroactive ban applies to Huey Fury. With Tyson Fury, you can say, okay, he didn't fight in that 2-year period. Fair enough. But Huey, he fought all the way through that 2-year period, including a world title fight with Joseph Parker in 2017. So what was retroactive about that ban there? He fought twice in 2016 and fought once for the world title against Joseph Parker. The only reason he didn't fight more in 2017 is because he was injured earlier in the year, which delayed the fight with Joseph Parker. These are facts. They rushed all this together, UKAD and the board, because they didn't want it to go to court, or they couldn't afford for it to go to court.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
It was supposed to be a big night for Matchroom signing Ernesto Mercado. 16-0, 15 inside the distance. He was taking on Jesus Saracho, a Mexican. 14-2-1 with 11 inside the distance. A big puncher himself, apparently. The fight was cancelled when Saracho came in 7 pounds over the contracted weight limit. This is on the back of Gustavo Lemos coming in 6 pounds over the contracted weight limit for Keyshawn Davis in Virginia, Keyshawn's hometown, last night. And, you know, these guys are coming in over the weight, and not just a couple of pounds, but considerably over the weight deliberately. Lemos was allowed to get in the ring. Saracho will not be fighting tonight. And let me tell you this, man, like, Lemos thought he was going to take liberties with his quote-unquote weight advantage, not having to stress himself on the scales. First round, quiet round, some good body jabs from Keyshawn that straightened up Lemos. Some good combinations by Keyshawn. Lemos got to the body with a few shots that didn't inconvenience Keyshawn. Second round though, Lemos doesn't throw jabs. He throws hooks. Tries to get inside and work away with them hooks. But you got to give Bbboc and Keyshawn credit for the strategy. Took that little step back and punched in between. The overconfident is what it looked to me, Lemos. Because he was trying to get off really early, like second round trying to get off like that. And he threw at least 3 hooks, but there was a right hook that didn't get there. Then he threw another left hook that didn't get there. And Keyshawn just punched in between, took that step back, punched in between, landed that right-hander on the chin. Down went Gustavo Lemos, and he was hurt badly. Keyshawn looked like Sugar Ray Leonard. The second knockdown from that left hook, that was like Sugar Ray versus Dave Boy Green. Gustavo tried to smile it off like he wasn't really hurt. He'd done very well to get out from both them knockdowns. The way this kid was putting his punches together, looks like he tried to get up too quickly on the second knockdown, and his legs just crumbled underneath him. Trevor Bbboc style against Mike Tyson. The last combination, yeah, Sugar Ray, Robinson, Leonard-esque. You going over the top beats? No, I'm not. It was flipping outstanding punching. The way he was drilling them left uppercuts to the stomach and that right uppercut. I didn't say he was as good as Sugar Ray Robinson or Leonard. I'm saying the combinations were giving me flashbacks. It's rare to see any boxer throwing combinations like that these days. Rare to see it. First knockdown, Keyshawn weren't even surprised because he and Bbboc obviously knew this guy was going to overextend, overreach with his punches, and the opportunities were going to be there. The finishing was very calculated. He didn't let his work be smothered. Terence Crawford-esque the way he did that, actually. The footwork and the head control didn't allow his work to be smothered. Yo, highly impressive, that's all I can say. As for all the Tank Davis talk post-fight, yeah, he done the right thing calling him out, but I'm not going to get involved in that. For reasons you probably can guess.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
Abdullah Mason learning that no matter how talented you are, you cannot neglect the fundamentals of boxing. You know what I mean? First round, 20-year-old kid trying to throw them long left uppercuts. You see what happened to AJ? Throwing that right uppercut from far out the other week. And Abdullah paid. He got put on his ass. Got put in his ass in the first round. Left hook counter from his opponent with 26 knockouts, 6 losses, and 21 inside the distance. 10 years older than Abdullah Mason. You see, a lot of people just don't think that experience means anything. They think like, oh, just okay, so 6 losses. No, twice the amount of fights. And he's obviously a puncher. 21 inside the distance in 26 wins. Abdullah needed this. He needed that. Now, there's probably a coach out there saying, what the F this guy talking about? But look, you can throw lead uppercuts. But, you know, in the first round, you want to work with some feints and see how the guy reacts and see what punches may be effective from what's not before you commit to a shot like that in the first round against a more experienced opponent. But it's too late now. Fundamentals are taking a back seat. Abdullah is full of adrenaline, like young, crazy, but talented. And then they're going toe-to-toe. Johan VASQUEZ is what the opponent's name is, landed a right hand. And it shook Abdullah. But Abdullah came back with his own left hook and put VASQUEZ down. The first round already is pure theatrics. Abdullah's opponent is a live wire who's got fast hands and has power. This VASQUEZ guy is not to be trifled with. He gets up from the knockdown, he's limping, his left foot is injured, and it looks quite a bad injury. So Abdullah teeing off again, got reckless again, left hand counter, while this Johan VASQUEZ guy is backing up, puts Abdullah on the floor again. Second round, I think the adrenaline wore off, and VASQUEZ, his leg was giving him too much issues. And Abdullah finished it off with a couple of left hooks to the body. It was exciting, but I guess the wannabe boxing coach in me didn't like the performance. I didn't like it. I'm sure his coach is thinking the same thing. I don't like what he was doing out there. I don't know if his boxing or fighting was tailored towards the exuberant crowd, but it was stupid boxing. Exciting, yeah, but it was stupid. What he was doing in there was stupid. Now, when he's inside, throwing that left uppercut to head or body, that's some good shit. Post-fight, they were asking him, yo, what's happening? And he was like, excitement, man, excitement. He wants to be excited, which is all good. And a lot of people have told me that this kid is going to be the next big thing. And I can see it. I can see it, but I've reserved judgment. Even before this fight, I've kept telling people I need to see him go through the levels, opponents, and the development. Because all I'm seeing now is offense. I'm seeing offense. But you can't become a great fighter on offense alone. But he's got good power, good hand speed, good punch selection. The potential is there, definitely. But he's a lightweight, a 135 pounder, 5'9", possibly taller, with a 74-inch reach. You've got no business fighting like Arturo Gatti. No business doing that.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.